Sometimes life is a waiting game. You've got good things happen and bad things happen. Presently, there's a whole lot of crappy crap happening. I'm letting it defeat me, but I can't let it defeat me all the time because that's just not me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what I usually do when I get upset. I'm going to bake something. Not only am I going to bake something, I'm also going to make lentil soup. It's going to be kitchen day, but other things as well. While I'm waiting for the bread to rise, I'll be doing other things. While I'm waiting for the beans to soak or whatever, I'll be doing other things. It's already just after noon, 12:30. Better get moving. There's not much I can do about the bad stuff happening right now except try to plan to do something about it somehow. I have to talk to Brian about the possible flooding of the basement, finding somebody, sending them a key to the house, blah blah blah, but in the meantime, yeah. Whenever I make anything, always, if you're in the kitchen, tie back your hair. If you have a scarf to put over your head to keep any loose hairs out away from food, do it. You know, I'd be enjoying a sandwich and then pulling out a long hair. That's disgusting. When you get older, you start shedding. Shed worse than a dog sometimes. Well, here goes. First of all, take out the baking stone. I put it in here. Because it has to warm up. And whatever. Anyway, I don't put it directly on the baking stone. The baking stone is there to make sure that the oven gets hot enough. Microwave convection ovens don't generally get as hot as an oven. So what I'm going to do, I am going to heat it on a low temperature just to get it nice and warm in there, and then I'll turn it off. So that it's just a nice little warm box. If it were a warm day, I could leave it out on the counter. I'm talking about when I make the bread rise. Rise, bread! I've started collecting things for Felix's second birthday, which is in July. Isn't this a cute little rolling pin? Isn't that adorable? He likes to help out when Mama makes something or Daddy cooks something. That's so cute. Aye, Captain Schmeeg. You dare have mutiny on my ship? It's a dough hook. In here is some tepid water, which means slightly warmer than warm. Yeast. A sugar source, which I use honey sometimes. That's food for the yeast. They're a living thing, believe it or not. They're kind of like freeze-dried until you activate them. And they sit and they eat and drink and be merry. Sometimes Roseanne or Annette. But let them sit here in their little liquid party. In a few minutes, you'll see a bunch of froth on the top if they're alive. It should be. Because when you eat and drink, of course it gives you gas. And that's what happens. I know that sounds gross, but that's what happens. You'll see. Hey, they're having a good time. Now to put the bowl in place, I love this mixer. I bought it from my mother-in-law. I think it cost like $300-something, and my father-in-law sold it to me for $150, which was doggone expensive for me, but doggone worth it. There's some that do this, and there's some that you just put the bowl in. This is a little more expensive one. I think it's a little sturdier, but it's good because when you get to making bread, it gets that whole countertop shaking there. The bread is heavy duty. Egg timer's on. Here's an egg timer for the bread dough to rise. And we'll knead it a little more, form it, and then bake it. But there's waiting times in between. While I'm waiting, I'm going to put all the ingredients together, trim them, clean them, chop them, saute them, start my lentil soup. Hey, you having fun in the kitchen? You might say I'm having a great time. I believe in mirepoix. Ooh, you sexy soup. Mirepoix. Carrot, celery, onion. The basic of any good soup. Put in some chicken bouillon powder, cumin, and some of this new stuff I got. Bacon powder. There's no meat to it, but it tastes like bacon. Just a little. A little goes a long way. That and a can of petite diced tomatoes. And then it can stew away. Bubble, bubble. Lots of trouble that I've had this week, and hopefully I can cook it away. Just put the bread in to warm, to rise. And the soup is bubbling away. I may have to add more liquid because the lentils will absorb a lot of liquid. This is good, and this amount is good for 4 normal sized people, 2 pigs, or 3 regular meals. It'll last me, I guess, 3 meals. Well, 3 different bowls. I gotta clean up this mess and do some other stuff while I'm waiting for the bread to rise. Gotta go put some more of that blonde back in. This color, nah. So I'll look even worse the next time you see me, probably. The soup I'll put on really low, just so that the beans still absorb the liquid, or legumes, or whatever lentils are. That should be rising, and I will put the dye crap on my hair, and I have to let it sit for 30 minutes. At the end of 30 minutes, I'll turn the oven on to start to bake that, turn the soup off to let it cool down so I can put it in containers or put it away, and then I'll take a shower and wash the hair stuff out. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing paperwork, looking for things, sorting things, pitching things. Oh, awesome. Gotta keep that going. And I just turned the heat off on this so it can cool down. I can put it away. I'll put a little bit away right now. Oh, the beans are not quite tender enough. Gotta cook them some more. Gonna be good later. And now we wait. Waiting for the bread, waiting for the soup, waiting for the color or the non-color. Those produce bags, you know, in the produce aisle, they come in handy for a lot of things. Well, it's not as blondie blonde as it was before, but it's even. It doesn't look like I've got some kind of weird beaver hat on or something. That's the soup. It's been cooling while I was showering. It's gonna be good. I've already tasted it. I know it's good. And here's the bread. Boop. Usually I try to make a loaf. This time I made like a ball and it turned out kind of round. But that's okay. Because as long as it's edible, that's what counts. Mr. Man's sleeping on the chair. You sleeping, Mr. Man? I love you, Pumpkin. Well, it's, what is it, 3:25 p.m. And I've got lots of junk around here to try to clear up. Just the nightstand table, it had like 4 or 5 paper towels and Kleenex and little this, little that, and a leftover box of something, and I just threw that away and it looks a lot nicer, so I really need to do that with everything else. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yep. I don't know what to do, but do we all not know what to do? Except try to go upward and onward.